All right, so we're going to get started on our week 2, pretty much second schedule. So today we're going to be getting into our pre-construction schedule and really phasing of that pre-construction. So I typically don't have a lot of PowerPoints. This one just kind of emphasizes the importance of why we're building the schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and just run through this. So really the why. What are we doing? Why are we making this? Consider this, and it's detailed out in your assignment as your RFP schedule, which is our request for proposal. This is something the owner asks. Okay, I hear I've got a nice looking building. It's 4 stories, so many square feet. How long is it going to take? But sometimes in this pre-construction effort, or when they're asking us for our opinions early on, they're also going to ask us, okay, how should we organize our design phase, or our engineers, designers? The earlier they bring in not only the designers, but also the contractor, the better. So we can really help them phase out this whole pre-construction. So today's schedule, we're not getting into construction. I give us really 5 main tasks that we'll touch on a little bit later, but we're not really adding in construction dates. We're really just building out this pre-construction. So I want to first show us the old school method. So this is really our design, bid, build process, DBB, where typically, or the old school way, is once the design gets done, that's when we would start bidding. Once the bidding gets done, then we would start buying out our subcontractors. This is where we start comparing them apples to apples, get them approved, and then once they're approved, submittal starts. So submittals are the documentation that they have to submit prior to installing it on site. So structural steel is a good one to think about. They submit this beam, or this column or brace behind me on a sheet of paper showing the calcs or whatever they need to. Get it approved by, this one's probably a deferred submittal, so it goes to the city and the engineer, but it's got to get approved first before they install it on site. So that's a submittal, little refresher. Okay, so again, the old school approach here, but here's the life of the architect. So they are extremely overwhelmed, overworked, just like contractors are getting pushed to do something, architects are getting pushed as well. So really the whole idea of this lab, and really the whole goal of the contractor, is hopefully to make the architect's life a little bit easier. So you can just see, looking at this old school versus this new school pre-construction approach, when we start phasing it, and that's what we'll get into, when we start phasing our pre-construction, we're able to not only start construction sooner, but get done sooner as well. So this is really kind of your negotiated bid scenario. I'm just thinking Cal Poly jobs, and someone in this class can probably speak to this as well. But Cal Poly used to be more low bid. So once they've figured out that low bid, push ahead, get this job done. But now they're starting to not only take quality into consideration, but also the GC's relationship with the owner, so some different considerations, not just price. So with kind of the negotiated price, value-oriented owners, they're able to start phasing our overall pre-construction. So that was a whole lot of words, but we'll look at that. So, all right, so what are they asking us to do? So really, they're asking for the expertise. This is a question I would ask in class, is which submittal or which subcontractor right here, so we've got a heavy-duty utility lines, water pipe. This almost looks like a dam or something. Versus our exterior or interior signage. Who do we want to start first? You're right. We probably want to start this big heavy-duty utility sub first. So right when I start thinking, or right when the GC starts thinking, okay, we know they want to get, or we know we want to get this sub on site ASAP or first. Let's start their design, their buyout a whole lot sooner than this exterior signage, or really interior signage. And really, when we start thinking about that too, we're able to start prioritizing not only who we need to get on site first, but also who the architect needs to get plans to, or who needs to get approved first, or who needs to get signed up first. So once we start thinking about that too, we also start thinking about, okay, well, how long are some of these parts and pieces going to take? So if it is our steel on a high rise, I think it's even longer than this in the bay right now. But typically the day you sign up, or the day that submittal gets approved, it's going to be 9 to 12 months until that gets on site. So some people can start procuring it a lot earlier, but there's just this huge time span from when it gets approved to when it gets on site. This is just showing you some different ones. Post-tension cables, not typically off the shelf, so they're having to design and fabricate these custom elevator cabs, extremely custom. So this is going to take 6 months once that submittal gets approved. And the same thing here, even with trusses. So anything that's really your custom design, it's going to take longer. So what does that mean? So really, we're just going to start working our way backwards. So if you've ever worked on a procurement log, this is exactly what you're going to do. So let's just say we need our elevator on site December 1st of this year. Okay, so how long is it going to take for that elevator to get built? So we're going to work backwards. Let's say 3 months there. So that, what is that? You guys can correct me. It gets us back to October, September. So once we figure out that, and then we've got to figure out, okay, well, how long is this, submittal time, but how long is this overall buyout process going to take as well? So let's just say that's 2 months. Okay, now I've got a good 5 months of I need to start. Oh, awesome. Let me pause this. Sorry about that. Okay, so again, working our way backwards just to figure out when we need to submit this buy or when we need this sub contracted. Procore, a lot of the different tools. We would use an Excel document just to kind of track, because each sub just has a different procurement. This is extremely important. We get into this more in the job site management. If you've taken that class, just trying to track how long each subcontractor is going to take. Okay, so it's great. Now we have a schedule, or what our pre-construction is going to look like for the owner, but now what? So this is going to be the second part, which we'll get into next week. It's not an actual schedule that we're going to be building the first part of next week, but it's figuring out the overall cost for how much it's going to cost to put this whole pre-construction together. I think this is just kind of important just to see how a schedule ties in to cost. So that's what we're going to be doing next week, and this is why it's also a 4A, 4B. So you can see right here, once we figure out, okay, the prep's going to take so long, the concrete's going to take so long. This is kind of getting more into construction. We're just going to be looking in Precon. But you can just start seeing you're putting a face to the schedule, or a person to the schedule, and not only a person, but then you're going to start putting a cost to it. So I kind of sped through that beginning part, but I really just want us to emphasize why we're doing this. It's to give the architect really a priority list of what design they need to start first, and also this really important task that I didn't learn until really my second job is not, or really the complete design does not have to be complete in order to start the job. You never want your interior specs holding up the foundation of the building. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into this lab now. It is lab 4, open. Oh, there it is. Thought I posted it. It'll get in there. Okay, so here we go. So learning objectives through this is really just to understand the pre-construction phases and sequences. So it's not one person right after another. We're going to start seeing the benefits of phasing. And it's also to analyze the value of phasing in pre-construction. So we're going to answer a few questions after this, but really it's just to identify how much time we were able to save by phasing a project and not doing it the old school way. So how we're going to do this, we're going to create really 3 different packages. So you'll see right here in green, this is our WBS categories, but we're going to have some subcategories now under pre-construction. So pre-construction, we're going to have design, development, and permitting, bid packages, scope buyout, submittal prep, and material procurement. So I've got mine printed out just so I don't have to jump back and forth. So let's just go ahead and go back to projects here. And if that's not open, go ahead and click Enterprise Projects. Get this tab open. And then we're going to create a new one. Enterprise, nice. So we got 422. Whoops, let me do this. Lab 4, 422. So this lab, yeah, we can name it if you want. Lab 4. Pre-construction and phasing. So hard to see. All right. So start date, we're going to have Monday. Don't put our ceiling on. Next, 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 and we can go ahead and finish. Here we go, pre-construction and phasing. Right-click, open project. All right, and where are we going to start? WBS, every single project. We can go ahead and just crank out these big green items. So the first one we're going to put in, just like in every schedule. Just be careful, do not type in this code over here. Just go ahead and name it over here. So we got milestones. And then we've got pre-construction. I'm going to shift this down a little bit just because we have to organize here. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tabs under our pre-construction. So I'm going to go ahead and just add, and I'll show you the little quicker way to do it. I'm going to add in 5, but just be careful to click back every time you're adding. So really not that quick, but I like laying them out here now that I know there's 5. So under pre-construction, you'll just see this little relationship line here. Awesome, so we're good to go. So we got pre-construction, so we got design and permitting, which is our first step. I don't know if I spelled that right. Looks like too many. That's okay. Design and permitting. So our architect's responsible for that with our engineer. Not only get it designed, but also get it approved. After that, we got bid packages and scope buyout. So bid packages is really just comparing our subs apples to apples. So it's, yes, it's going out to bid, but it's receiving them, comparing them, as well as a lot of times getting them approved by the owner, and then contracting them. So that's kind of that last phase of scope buyout. And we got submittal preparation. Preparation. Not the best speller. I will fix that. Preparation. That looks good. Preparation and review. If you want to put that in. And we can go ahead and blow up our screen a little bit so we can see everything. Okay, 2 more to go here. And then we got material, procurement. So procuring materials really just means not only ordering them, but them getting made. So it's that time it's going to take for that thing to get made. Oh, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and shift this one over to the left. So this should be lined up with pre-construction. And here we're just going to lay out some of our major construction activities, just like we would for an owner in pre-construction. But I'm not getting into too much detail here. So I'm going to add this, adjust it back over here. So we got earthwork and demo, we got underground, utilities coming up after, if you want to do it the right way. But do it this way, it's a little quicker. We just have to shift it over. Hit the plus down here. So after underground utilities, we've got parking, garage, construction. And then I'm going to shift this to the left just so it's the same. And after parking, garage, construction on this job, we've got building construction. Shift to the left. Okay, so now we've got a really clean WBS. So we got milestones, Precon on that same tier, as well as these major construction activities. And then the sub tiers are all broken out under pre-construction. Let's jump to our activities. We've always got that little lag we're dealing with, so we're going to go File, Refresh Data. Not too bad, actually. All right, and that looks really clean. So we're just going to go ahead and add in. I'm not going to waste your time here, so I'm just going to pause it, add these in, and we'll start back up. And here I'll just add in one. I'm going to hit my plus, and I like naming these again, M for milestone. And under milestone, we're always going to start with notice to proceed. This is going to be a start milestone. April 13th. Perfect. And then down below this one, I'll do this one more with you, and then notice to proceed pre-construction. This is important in this activity. Then we got notice to proceed construction. This is also going to be a start milestone, and we're just going to tier this a little bit. So we're going to make this July 6th. Okay, so go ahead and enter in these other ones. Yeah, it's just asking me because it's past that date. You want to keep it there. Let's add one more, and then I'll pause it so you guys can create these. And then we've got garage, structure, construction. So this may be the first time we're using, under activity type down here, this level of effort. So we'll see what that does, but that really just summarizes our overall garage construction, puts it up top. So I'm going to pause here, go ahead and create the rest of them. Okay, so we got the rest of the items completed in here. So building construction summary bar, which is also a level of effort. Substantial completion or temporary occupancy. So the big thing with substantial completion, this starts kicking off the warranty time. Temporary completion sometimes be offered by the city to allow the owner, let's say, to start moving in furniture and whatnot, but the building's not completely done. When it's done, right here, all of the agencies have signed off, PG&E, electric, water, sewer and gas, all that stuff. And then you get the certificate of occupancy from the city and a final completion notice from the architect, just stating you've completed your work per contract, and this kicks off retention. Not necessarily important, but that's just kind of the big difference between the two. Okay, so here we go. We are now in design development and permitting. So we've got 3 phases down here, which I didn't touch on earlier, but I just wanted to show us how easy it is to jump back in to the WBS. So under, I'm going to blow this up a little bit more, under design and permitting, I'm going to add 3 more tabs, and I screwed up a little bit here. That's okay. I can shift these back. So we've got design package 1. We don't necessarily know what this is yet, but I'm just kind of giving us 3 different options. So we've got 3 main tiers here. So we've got office building MEPs, parking garage structure, and underground utilities. No, this is not a complete package, but I just wanted to use it for this example. So now I'm thinking about, okay, what do I need to get started first to kick off this building? So the first thing I got to get going is underground utilities. Because who knows, some of that could definitely be running under your building, maybe under your parking garage, but it could be servicing the parking garage, so I want to get that kicked off first. Could be different on another job. And then the next one, we've got garage structure. And then my DP3, design package 3, is going to be building. MEPs. I got really detailed there. That's okay. So we're doing this, or creating these 3 tiers, because we're going to start copying and paste, and it's going to get really quick with these categories here. So I kind of want to do the same thing for my bid packages. I don't necessarily have to do that for material procurement, but I'm going to do the same thing down here. So under bid packages, I'm going to add 1, 2, 3. So I've got bid packages, BP, batting practice, BP1, underground utilities, hyphenate, make it quicker. So we got BP2, garage structure, and then we got BP3 MEPs, office MEP, or building MEPs. So submittal prep and review, same thing. So we're going to make these 3 categories, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have submittal package 1, underground. You can name these. I'm just going to number them for now. Submittal package 2, to keep my videos under, an hour. All right, submittal package 3. Won't be that long. Okay, and then material procurement, don't worry about adding in those individual things. We'll get into that in a little bit. Head back on over to activities. Just make sure we refresh our data here. We got some new colors. All right, it should look a little cleaner like this. Okay, so I'm giving you the activities here. So go ahead and add these in. Yes, you can be a little bit more specific here. So we're going to go DP 1000 for design package. So the first thing, again, I give you these, is design complete. Then we've got owner contractor review, which is great if we have that option. They want us to look at it before it gets submitted. We have like 4 more activities, so I'm just going to add them in here. And then we've got submit to city, city review, comments and corrections, and then we've got permit issue. Okay, I'm giving you the days here. Typically these design packages will range in the amount of times, but for our sake here, let's just go ahead and keep these the same. So we got 10 days, 5 days here. Submit to the city. This is usually just a day, so I'm going to put a day here. City review, 10 days. That's pretty generous or lean. City comments and corrections. And permit issued, another day. Okay, so these are not linked yet, which is okay. So I'm going to click on my first activity, hold shift, my last activity, right click, link activities. So now we got a nice flow for this. I didn't mention this earlier, but I kept these generic because what we're going to do next is these are still highlighted, or if they're not, it's okay. I'm going to click on my first one, hold shift, click on my last one, right click copy. I want to select where I want to put them. So I want these same activities to go under my garage structure. So right click, paste. And this is, I think, one of the perks with P6. So it makes it very easy to make a sequence schedule like this. So go ahead and hit OK for this first one. The only thing I'm going to change right here, so I want my auto number, instead of be DP1, I want it to be DP2. Hit OK. Perfect. So now these were all just sequenced. I'm going to do the same thing. Copy. Go on my last one here. Paste. OK. And now I'm changing it to DP3. Okay. So we're thinking worst case scenario first. So my permit issued is going to kick off the next design. So I'm going to click on this first, hold Control, click on Design Complete, right click, Link Activities. Same step here. I'm going to click on my permit issued for DP2 first, Design Package 2. Click this first, hold Control, click, and I'm not clicking anything, they're just highlighted. Right click, Link Activities. And you can shrink this toolbar by just dragging. I'm just clicking, left clicking once and dragging it over. So we're building this out as a worst case scenario first. All right. Okay. So bid package and submittal package, same step right here. Submittal package, I'm just having you add 2 to 4 activities per package. And so, yeah, these are all in order. So I'm just going to pause this and go ahead and add this in. So under bid packages, I just want you to include one trade. Not really include it, but I want you to think about it. So underground utilities, you can keep it generic. Let's keep it generic, but I just want you to think. So we've got bid package 1,000. And then I'm giving you all these, right? Yep. So we got receive plans. So once we're permitted, we're going to receive them. And we've got 5 activities in here. 3, 4, 5. So the subcontractor has received the plans. Next step is they submit the pricing to the general contractor. You do a little bid review and whatnot. This kind of includes negotiation, but we're going to finalize subcontract. So there's a lot of back and forth in this subcontract. And once the subcontractor's picked, hopefully, we're going to submit to owner for really the final sign off. Once this owner's approved, we've got issue subcontract. Okay. And the same steps here. So each package can take 10 to 30 days. So I just want you to think about which one's going to take a little bit longer. So utilities, pretty straightforward. So received, this is probably going to be our quickest one. Submit pricing. This can take, let's say, how long do I put? 10 to, yeah, maybe 5 days. They're pretty quick. Let's say our good subs are working on this. But whatever you want. These do not have to be perfect. Finalists, subcontracts, so that's going back and forth. Submit to owner. These usually occur in a meeting when you're walking them through why you're picking him or her. Okay, so we got our dates here. I'm going to hold shift, and I'm doing this a little differently than last time. I know our last schedule I told you to push it out and then adjust the dates, but I'm just showing you a different way to do it. So click on our first activity, hold shift, right click, link activities. Alright, so now we got our first bid package complete. So same step here. I'm going to copy, right click, paste. And this one, it starts getting pretty cool with just how many activities we're creating here. I just remember for the Reno project, I think it was Cole. Yeah, Cole's in this class who built the schedule with Billy and whatnot, but they had I believe it was a high rise, so deck sequence. So once you get one of these sequence done, you can just copy paste. So it's pretty cool how clean it does. So copy, right click, paste. Name this one bid package 3. Hit OK. Okay. So where or what are we going to link this receive plan? So I like doing this one a little manual. So I'm going to click on my receive plans. So when do I receive my plans for the underground utilities? Well, right when the permit gets issued. So here. So I'm going to do the same thing, garage structure. When do I receive these plans? Right when the permit's issued. And the MEPs. So this is a little phase, not perfect yet. And we'll get... Oh, sorry. I'm phasing it already. I'm getting ahead of myself. Rats. All right. So we're doing this worst case scenario first. And then, yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm going to undo those last two. Okay, so we're not phasing it yet. So let's just say we're receiving our plans right after this permit's issued. So I'm going to go to my last permit, link it here, link activities. This looks a little dumb. You guys are all smart, but you'll see it'll start making sense. So this contract is going to be tied. So I'm clicking my contract here, receive plans. So we just want this thing to be the old school method first, and then we're going to clean it up. Link activities, same thing here. So issue subcontract. Yeah, it looks so dumb doing it this way, but it'll make sense. Okay, we're almost done here. How's my time? 33. Okay. 7 more minutes. We'll be done at 40 minutes here. Okay, so now we got to do our submittal packages. So add 2 to 4 activities per package based on the items. So each package can take 10. So I'm going to let you create the other ones, but I'm just going to do one of them here. So for underground, this is, let's say, piping, submittal. And then, whoops, I did change this. So we got submittal package 1. I'm going to add 2. I just say really you need 2 activities, but we're going to say piping submittal prep. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it as 2 activities to keep it review and approve. So let's just say it takes about 5 days to prep, 10 days to get it reviewed by the GC and the architect and approved. That's pretty quick, but best case scenario. Okay, and then I'm just going to copy paste. So copy, paste down here. I'm just going to change what this submittal is, but we don't have to worry about that yet. So submittal package 2. Hit OK. Right click copy. Right click paste. And then we've got submittal package 3. Okay. So remember our bid package 2 is up here. So just thinking of generic, we've got post, or let's just say rebar, submittal prep, review and approve. This one may take a little longer because it's going through structural engineer and whatnot. And then we've got MEP, so let's just say this is electrical systems, or shop drawings really. Or let's say subpanels, just to give us an example. That one takes a little bit longer. You're bringing in suppliers, review and approve, 15 days. Okay. So I'm going to link all these to each other inside of each other. Click once, hold shift or hold control, click the other one, link activities. Okay, and now I want my piping submittal prep. Okay, and we're just going to keep this as linear as possible to occur after my last bid package. So I'm going to click on my last bid package, hold control, right click, link activities. And now my rebar, let's say again, worst case scenario, it's happening after this one gets approved. Link activities, worst case scenario, right click, link activities. Okay, and you'll just start seeing here, we've got a perfect line. We have not started phasing this yet. You may be jumping ahead already and getting ahead of me, but don't do it yet. So we'll do that next. All right, material procurement. We've got 3 different items in here. I should have kind of went over these first, but it's okay. I think I kind of did a decent job. Yeah, decent job with my submittals, because these procurement ties directly with the submittals we just created. So I'm giving you these just for fun. So our electrical control panels take 50 days. Oh, and then our post-tension cables take 40 days to make. And then our FAU system, fan and whatnot, let's just say it was kind of a generic system, takes 10 days to get to us. So procurement, again, this is the time, let's just say we order something over the phone at Home Depot, then they tell us it's a 2-week lead time. So this is how long it actually takes to get to us. All right, so these all look good. You can kind of start phasing these and you'll start seeing why. So underground utilities, once you review and approve that, just click here, hold control, click on that one, not touching anything again, right click, link these two together. Okay, so now my submittal is kicking off the order of this material. And this is getting a little phasey, but not too much yet. So my post-tension cables are getting kicked off right after my submittal package 2. So review and approve here. Hold control, left click, post-tension cables, link activities, awesome. And then my FAU systems based off of this last MEP submittal. So click here, hold control, right click, link activities. Okay, so now we're good here. And under our construction activities here, we're just going to add in one activity. And you can just go ahead and name it construction. Same thing here, go ahead and name it construction. We're just adding in generic ones. Down here as well. Okay, and I'm giving you these durations as well. So we got 3 months, which is 12 weeks. Get out my handy dandy calculator here, which is 60 days. And then we've got our underground utilities, 3 months, perfect, 60 days. Garage, 10 months. Whoops. This isn't exact, which is totally fine, but I'm just rounding. Probably down here. Say 200 days. And 13 months. 52, 56 weeks. 56 weeks times 5 days, so 280 days. All right. So now we got these construction, and I want these constructions linked to when our material is getting on site. And so you'll start seeing right here. So earthwork and demo, we're not tying that to anything except, oh wait, earthwork and demo. Yeah, this one, did I give you a date here? No, I did not. So we're going to kick this off right at notice to proceed construction. So we're not waiting for a submittal here. So I'm just going to go ahead and have some predecessor, that activity still linked or clicked on down below. Notice to proceed construction. Okay. I can leave open this predecessor bar over here. Underground utilities, we cannot start that until our submittal is approved. I'll come find it down here. Oh, I'm running over. Okay, so this submittal, my parking garage, I can't start that until this submittal is approved. In my building construction, I can't start it until my FAU, let's just say this is our MEPS, but let's say that's approved. Okay, so we got a decent flow right here. So this is just showing you right away we got a major issue. We've got earthwork going on right here, but we've got this huge gap for my underground utilities. I'm going to go ahead and put, really ideally, I want my underground utilities starting, or I want all these construction items starting one after another. So I'm just going to click on my first construction item here, hold shift, click down here, right click, link activities. So ideally I want these going one after another, but they're not right now because they're held up by something. So this is our first step. We just created a nice looking, I'm kind of running out of time here, so do not worry. And let's go ahead and delete them. Actually, don't worry about these hammock activities. We'll get to that later. I added a little too much into this one. Okay. Oh, yeah, substantial completion. Go ahead and put this in. Yeah, we'll worry about that next. Okay, so let's just go ahead and print this. You can save this as a version, but you don't really need to, and I'll show you why. So go ahead and print this, save that. Okay, so once you print and save that, this is just going to highlight the overall dates right here. So we had 740 days of construction starting 13th and 10th, or ending February 10th, 2023. But now we're going to go ahead and make this a phased project. So print this as a PDF first, because you're going to submit 2 of them to answer these questions. So once you print that, I think I only have 5 minutes left and my computer's full. These video files are huge. All right. So bid package 1. We do not want this to start after all these design packages get complete. We're going to phase this thing now. So we're going to go ahead. I'm just going to make a mental note. 2/10/23, just to see what that date was at first. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this predecessor, And I really want this bid package to start once the design package gets complete. So permit here, hold control, right click, link activities. Just with that one task, I knocked off 3 months. So phasing's already looking great. And we only messed with one. So my, whoops, did I screw that up? No, okay. Predecessor, there it is. Okay. For my garage structure, same thing. I'm going to delete this. Yes. And I want this to start after my design package is received for that. Right click, link activities. Awesome. Same thing here. Bid package 3, go ahead and remove it. Then I am going to add, you can do it this way too. Bid package, design package 3. Okay, so we have completed the phasing for our bid packages, and now I'm going to leave this up to you all. Go ahead and complete the phases for the submittals. We already did it for the procurement, so really you just have one last step. So right here you can just see all these submittals are based off of one another. That is not how we want to do it. We want the submittals to be based off the individual bid package. And right away, wow, we already got rid of, whoops, yeah, that didn't help it that much. But it will start, I promise. Okay, so keep going that, and then once you finish that one, you're going to go ahead and print that as a PDF. You're going to submit both of those and answer those questions in the PDF. You can answer them directly on here in Bluebeam, or type them in the comment section, whichever you feel. All right, we'll see you next week.